Always, everything I have to share here is from my personal experience and practice. That means it's specific to me and my body and my mobility. So please, please, please always modify, practice any variation, make everything I have to say yours. Everything is like a yellow light in traffic. It's just a suggestion. You can either proceed with caution or pause and reassess. So you do you, nobody knows you better than you. So please get to know yourself a little better just by listening throughout the practice and knowing where your boundaries are and honoring them. Yeah, thanks for listening. That is a little public service announcement. So to get started, I'll invite you to stand. If you have a little extra energy, you can wiggle as long as you'd like, or you may join me seated on the mat in a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you right now. And check in, just listen to your breath, maybe take 2 or 3 breaths without trying to change it. Just notice the texture, the temperature of your breath as it moves over your palate, the sound it makes. Notice any effort around it. Look for opportunities to bring ease to the process. The most natural thing we do is breathe. We do it constantly. Nice. So again, setting our stage for success might mean bringing a few props along to make things extra stylish or comfortable. So I have a few things here by my side that you might roll over onto your belly. Adjust as needed. You can kind of wiggle until you sort of feel settled. And from here, you can untuck your toes, let the tops of your feet come to the mat. It might feel nice to stack your palms face down, palms facing the floor, so that you can rest your forehead on your stacked hands. You might look and see if you have your blanket or your strap or belt available as you lift your right leg, bending at the knee. And you can reach back with your hand and maybe catch your pant leg if you like, if you have pant legs to catch. Or like I say, this is a great opportunity to use the strap to, or equivalent, to kind of create a loop, which I'm not making appear very graceful, but that's okay. Give yourself permission to not be graceful. So that's what that might look like, but depending on your angles and length, you might catch that ankle. Press the top of the thigh into the mat, whether you catch the ankle or not, and squeeze your heel towards your glutes. Say hi to my cat, if you can see them. Take a breath here. Exhale, maybe find a little softness, not forcing a stretch here, just encouraging or assisting kind of an opening of the hip with the flatness of the floor beneath us to support. If you feel tightness in your hamstring, you might flex your toes towards your shin. And on an exhale, release your foot to the floor. And switch sides. Might switch hands, rest your forehead on your right hand as your left hand reaches back, maybe to catch your lifted left ankle. If you can hear my cat yelling, don't be alarmed. He is a vocal, friendly creature, and he's a little jealous that you're getting attention instead of him right now. So take another breath. Listen to the sound. No need to force or assume that this side should have the same range of motion as the other. Again, you can flex your toes to relieve any tension in that hamstring. And on exhale, return that foot to the floor. You might rest here in heaviness for a breath or two. Or join me if you'd like, bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders. One hand to The cat should one be available. I'm kidding. You can place both handprints in front of you, palms down, for Sphinx pose. As you get your elbows kind of anchored underneath your shoulders, notice that you have a new point of traction to grip with the mat, as though to tear it in half between your hands and forearms, and also as though to bunch it up underneath your ribs, as though to bring that short edge of the mat towards you. Inhale, press your belly into the floor, give your diaphragm space. Stay here as you exhale. Maybe create space between your shoulders and your ears. Inhale, belly button reaches towards the floor, if not pressing into it. Let your collarbone be broad. Gripping the mat with your elbows, maybe drawing your rib cage a little closer to the mat. You can press the tops of your feet into the mat as well, maybe adding to that sense of lift. Maybe tuck your chin and look at the mat in front of you. Exhale as you curl down. Rest as long as you'd like. From here, we'll roll over onto our backs. You decide when you're ready. Taking any time to make adjustments, whether that be hops out of the way or a sip of water, doing any extra movement. Nice. Once again, on our backs, you can have the knees bent, letting the soles of your feet come to the floor. And walk them close to your seat. Maybe when you reach along your sides with your arms, your fingertips can just dust the backs of your heels. You might also heel till your feet so they're as wide as your hips or even a little wider. Inhale here, again, feeling flatness for your spine supported by the mat beneath you. Exhale, feel heavy here. As you inhale, dig your your footprints into the mat as you lift your hips any amount off of the mat. You might tuck your chin as the back of your neck becomes long, pressing into your shoulders for bridge pose. We're not going to stay here long. Exhale, curl your spine, lowering one vertebrae at a time. Putting your hips down last. You might even lift your heels off the mat to get a little more height so that the sacrum and tailbone meet the mat last. And bring your heels to the floor again. Inhale, lift up, find bridge pose again. And exhale, curls you down. Finding flatness again. If you'd like, you can add an arm lift on the inhale, or if space allows. Lifting your hips again. Maybe squeeze your shoulder blades together, pressing into the mat behind you, lifting your chest a little higher. Maybe look at your belly as you watch it rise and on an inhale. Exhale, lower your spine to the mat. One more round. Inhale, find your bridge. Stay here for a couple of breaths if you'd like, maybe wiggling your elbows and hands towards each other to meet. If you would like, you can reach for your strap and connect your hands that way, or maybe clasp fingers and palms. Again, just squeezing with your shoulder blades, those strong scapula on your back, tucking your chin, letting the back of your neck be long as your hips are lifted with the strength of your glute muscles. Maybe finding your 4-count breath here. No need to hold it while you're not effortful. Just let this be a smooth, constant balance of inhale and exhale. Nice. When you feel complete here, you can wiggle your arms and shoulder blades apart, making space for your spine to meet the mat again. Lowering slowly. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. Nice. Once again, find your strap or belt or equivalent and bring it to the middle of your right foot as you lift it towards the sky. Extend your leg as long as it will go. It may not be straight. And reach for the ends of your hand towel or blanket or strap, whatever you may have available. And if you don't have a strap, that's okay. You can just extend your leg and let it stretch with its own length. You don't have to have the support of the prop here. Left foot might still be placed on the floor with knee bent, or if you'd like, you might walk it farther away, creating a little bit of length, opening in that front hip. Nice. Flex your lifted toes towards your face, extending your heel away. It might also feel nice to clasp your hands behind your lifted thigh, pressing the hamstring into the palms into the hamstring, creating slack in the belly of the muscle, relieving the attachment points as we encourage a stretch in the meaty portion of this strong muscle. Breathe here. Nice. You might stay here, or you might bring your foot across the midline very slowly. You might hold your strap or continue to hold the back of your thigh, whichever one feels right for you right now. And just toggle your whole foot just past your midline. So if you're looking at a clock, they might be pointed over towards 11. Maybe it started out at 1 and now the whole foot is over at 11. You might notice this on the outside of your thigh. Continue extending through your thigh, not your thigh, your heel, and flexing your toes towards your face. Maybe inhaling for 4, 6, or 8. And exhaling for 4, 6, or 8. Nice work. You can release your foot from any support you may have in place, return it to the mat, either the footprint to the floor or extend it long beside your other leg. Take a moment to observe the differences in sensations between your right leg and your left. Make any adjustments to become a little flatter, a little heavier. As you prepare to work the other side, decide if you'd like your right leg to be bent or extended on the mat as you lift your left foot towards the sky, extending again long through that knee, which may or may not be bent, may or may not be straight. From here again, you might choose to clasp hands behind your thigh, extending long through that heel, flexing toes towards your face. Encouraging a stretch in that hamstring while also pressing hands into the muscle and muscle into the hands to create slack in that strong, tough part. Encouraging the stretch in the strong part of the muscle instead of the tender attachment points behind the knee and the hip. Hands might stay here or come to a strap if you have one available, bringing it around the middle of your foot. I'm just reaching to kind of bring your left hand to that handle, both ends of the strap or towel. And just let your foot be supported here, whether by hands or strap, letting it be long, letting the femur bones settle into the hip socket. Again, you might walk your right foot away from you, extending it long on the mat, or maybe it feels nice to keep it bent to support the low back flat against the floor. When you're ready, maybe on an exhale, begin to slowly toggle your foot towards the right, bringing your left foot just to hover over your right shoulder or over your right hip. It might look like your toes are over your shoulder, but it's probably closer to your hip. Again, the knee can have a small bend here. We don't need to hyperextend. We're just allowing a little bit of length to happen here in the outside of the left thigh, the IT band. Again, supporting knee function and stability and alignment. Maybe find your counting, breathing in, counting out. Nice. When you're ready, you can release your foot to the floor. Maybe walk it out long beside the other on the mat. Maybe reach opposite hands for opposite elbows overhead, framing your face. Taking a deep breath in, fanning out your rib cage. Stretching your belly. Maybe arching your back. And taking your heels into the mat. Exhaling, finding heaviness and softness. Nice. When you're ready, sit up like Frankenstein, reaching high up in the air with long arms. Using the strength of your core, you might like to roll up your blanket or towel and create kind of like a little tootsie roll to put underneath your knees if you have tight hamstrings today. You can take this out at any time if you find a little more length. So sit up tall again, reaching with those zombie arms for your toes. Reach forward any amount. Sit up, think tall thoughts, take a breath in. And exhale, fold like a rag doll, drape over your lap. Reach for your feet. You may or may not find them with your hands. And slowly roll down to the mat. You may wiggle. You may find you move around on the floor. Finish your exhale. Inhale, lift your arms. Reach and sit up again. Exhale as you reach for your toes. Think flat thoughts with your back as you do so. So you don't need to round or arch. Just reach your heart forward towards your toes. Inhale as you think tall thoughts now and sit up. Exhale, fold, drape, round, arch. Relax over your lap. Roll your spine. You might scoot yourself forward, adjusting as needed. I'm always amazed how much I move around on the mat as I just sit up and lay back. Might frame your face with your arms again, reaching opposite elbow, opposite hand. Breath in. Breath out. And breath in as you reach. Exhale to sit up. And reach forward towards your toes, maybe pressing into that rolled blanket with the backs of your legs. Reaching towards your toes with a flat back. Inhale, sit up. Be tall. And exhale, drape forward. Fold. And unroll, find flatness, lay down. Arms can reach up or come to lay by your side. Finish your exhale here.